All right, guys, victory Monday video. The Jaguars snapped their 5-game losing streak by defeating the Las Vegas Raiders 27-20. Great game, awesome environment. I was at this one. The Jaguar, I was surrounded by tons of Raiders fans as I was in the away section. They all left unhappy. The Jaguars finally find a way to close out a one-score game, and they did it in great fashion in Jacksonville. Just an awesome, awesome way to end our losing streak. And now the Jaguars improve to 3-6 as the Raiders fall to 2-8. And it really is the game of two different halves almost. I mean, the Jaguars started off, and Davante Adams was destroying the Jaguars. I mean, to start this game, Davante Adams had 9 receptions for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he helped the Raiders establish a 17-0 lead. And I remember looking at it and saying, Davante Adams is dominating us, and the score is literally Davante Adams 2-0, as at the time, the Raiders were winning 17-0. And then in the second half, Davante Adams was held to 1 reception for 0 yards as the Jaguars went out there and went on a 27-3 scoring spree, and the Jaguars wind up winning this one by a touchdown. What a game. What a game. And it was honestly an encouraging win for a few different reasons. One, the Jaguars came from behind. I mean, you're down 17-0. A lot of Jaguars teams we see would have folded. You know, maybe they make it a little bit closer, but at the end of the day, they never really get a shot. But the Jaguars came back and won a game that they were losing to. And also another reason is that, look, the Jaguars finally have a win that wasn't like a blowout. They finally had a one-score victory. Usually we find ways to lose those. I was worried on many circumstances because the Raiders got the ball back a couple of times, with a threat to potentially score, but they never did. The defense actually held strong. I've said so many times, I think we have a good defense, but our defense is very unclutch. They can't make crucial stops when they need to, but the Jaguars defense did this. I mean, the Raiders had a couple opportunities to drive, and they never got it anywhere close. The Jaguars held them to our side of the 50, and yeah, the Jaguars edged them out, and it's a big victory for the Jaguars as the Raiders right now are reeling. They probably have an identity crisis. Did they hire the right guy? Did they bring in the right pieces? I mean, they're a team that was looking to really be in the playoffs, and now I don't know what to say about them. But this isn't a Raiders video. This is a Jaguars video. So yeah, that's one thing that's really cool. Just a come-from-behind victory. Also, elephant in the room, how about number 16, Trevor Lawrence? Awesome game from him. He was 25 for 31 with 81% completion percentage, 235 yards passing, 1 touchdown, and he also used his legs a little bit as he rushed for 53 yards. I know a lot of Jaguar fans have been begging him, hey man, use your legs more, and it was a true weapon this game as Trevor Lawrence rushes for 53 yards. Now, and you look at him in the second half, he played his best football, 15 of 16, 94% completion percentage. His only incompletion came off of a tipped ball, 133 yards passing, and 1 touchdown. And, this is the Trevor Lawrence that we want to see. Look, the Jaguars going into this game, they were 2-6. So at this point, it's like, okay, what is this season now? I mean, we're a long shot to make the playoffs. What we want to see Trevor Lawrence do good. This is a game that if the Jaguars would have won this game, 13-12, and Trevor Lawrence goes 15 of 31 and, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions. It would have been like, but this is the game where it's like, man, Trevor Lawrence needs to put more games like this together. I mean, he was outstanding this game. And you look at it and, his pocket presence was great, 0 sacks, and it wasn't like he was protected the whole game. I mean, he made a lot of really good moves in the pocket, delivered some tough throws, and also credit to our wide receivers. They made a lot of tough catches as well. You look at it, Christian Kirk, 8 receptions for 76 yards, 1 touchdown. He's on pace for a 1,000-yard season. Marvin Jones, 5 receptions for 48 yards. Zay Jones, 5 receptions for 40 yards. And, when you look at Trevor, He was down 17-0, led two scoring drives to, cut it to 20-10 at the end of the half. And, then he took the opening drive for a touchdown in the second half, and then all of a sudden it's a 20-17 game. This is the kind of game where, look, we talk about it all the time. Like, oh, the Jaguars, they need another wide receiver. Calvin Ridley's going to help us next year. We need tight end. We need another quarterback. We need all this, and that. But at the end of the day, what matters the most is that we get more games like this from Trevor Lawrence. Because, look, if Trevor Lawrence plays like this every game, we are at least a 6-3 team. The quarterback is so important, but it's Trevor Lawrence's second year. Look, like he's going to have some up and downs. We just worry when we see a few games in a row where it's like bad games and it's like, what are we doing here? But Trevor Lawrence came back and he proves that, look, like he can make throws that a lot of quarterbacks just can't make, but we need to really mitigate the bad games from him. The games like last week against Denver, one of the worst games I've ever seen him play. And then this game, this might have been his best game as a starting quarterback. I know we've had the different blowouts. I think football games are so much different when you have a huge lead and you're comfortable and you can just sit there and it's basically a scoring spree, like when we defeated the Chargers by 28 points. But, this was a game that was in doubt all the way through. This is a game that, most of the time when Trevor Lawrence had the ball, we were down. We needed to score. He never looked nervous. He never looked scared. He was very composed and, a true gritty win by Trevor Lawrence. So we really hope next year we get more games like this out of Trevor Lawrence, which is going to lead us to more victories. And then we're going to have a better roster around him. And then we are a true threat. It's just all about what Trevor Lawrence are we getting. Because if Trevor Lawrence plays a little bit worse this game, we lose. If Trevor Lawrence does a little bit better last week against the Broncos, we win. So that's why quarterback is so important. So we hope to continue to see greatness out of Trevor Lawrence. So at the end of the day, do it again. Do it again next week. Next week's a big game. So yeah, good game from Trevor Lawrence this one. Now another thing is Travis Etienne, another just phenomenal game. 28 rushing attempts for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. When you look at his last 3 games, man, 379 total rushing yards. That's an average of 126 yards per game. He also has 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Like, just phenomenal job from Travis Etienne. And, he's protecting the ball better also. And now he is 5th in the NFL in rushing. I mean, I know NFL, the Instagram account every week puts out the top 5 receivers, top 5 rushers. Travis Etienne is going to be on the graphic. Trading James Robinson was probably a good thing for us because it really allows Travis Etienne to be the premier running back, and he's just great. He's explosive, has great contact balance. He is powerful, fast. I mean, he is. There's not many running backs in the NFL right now at their age and contract that you'd like over Travis Etienne. So it's good to see him really coming into his own. And now the defense started off very shaky. Like I said, Davante Adams was killing us. But hey, in the second half, 0 points for the Raiders. These games, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. If it was reverse end and the Jaguars held them to 0 points in the first half, then allowed 20 points in the second half, we're sitting here like, what's going on? That's terrible. But when you reverse it, it becomes a lot better because it's not how you start these games, it's always how you finish. Great job by the defense. Great job by DeJuan Smoot. 2 sacks this game, the only 2 sacks of the game. He has 3.5 sacks in the last 2 games, and he also has 5 sacks on the season. So, he's really putting out a very, very good year for us Jaguars. Campbell had a great second half after getting toasted in the first half by Davante Adams. It wasn't even that he was that bad in coverage. It's just, Davante Adams is making good catches. There were some good throws. He probably needs to turn his head and make a play. But yeah, Tyson Campbell, I would say, like I said, not how you start, it's how you finish, and he finished pretty well. Andrew Wingard came in for Rayshon Jenkins and had a pretty good game. Rayshon Jenkins is being, it looks like, evaluated for a concussion, but overall I thought, Wingard came out there and he provided a real spark for us. And overall, just the defense, no complaints, man. I mean, I would like to maybe see, maybe Devin Lloyd make some more plays or, even Josh Allen. Josh Allen has been really quiet. But overall, I mean, you can't complain about a defense when they do what they did, 0 points in the second half. Now, special teams, Riley Patterson finally missed a kick. He was 2 for 3 this game, so not terrible. Overall, he's 13 of 15 for field goals on a year, so he's actually putting together a pretty good year. His miss came off the uprights. He's 18 of 19 on extra points, so it looks like we so far have a season sample size. Looks like we have a pretty good kicker. Okay, so that's a good thing. Agnew, really good return to start the second half. Ran the ball to around the 50-yard line, which was a big help as it led the Jaguars on a touchdown drive. So you like to see that out of him. And then now when you are looking at everything, when it looks, because the Jaguars right now, they're 3-6. So what does that mean? Like in the long haul, we take a look at the AFC South. I'm not saying playoffs. I'm just saying, hey, let's talk about it real quick. When it comes to the playoffs, man, it's gonna have to run through the AFC South. There's just no other way about it. The Titans are in first place at 5-3. The Indianapolis Colts are in second place at 3-5-1. I don't know what Indianapolis is doing. They are like, it looks like they're tanking maybe. I mean, they're playing Sam Ehlinger. He's awful. Frank Reich is just a walking duck right now. I mean, it's a virtual certainty he gets fired at the end of the year, and probably Chris Ballard. So I don't know if, there's some word from Irsay to play Ehlinger, because the Colts need to finally draft a quarterback, and it's so much easier to draft them if you don't have to trade up. So I don't know what the heck the Colts are doing, but they're going in the wrong direction right now. Jags are in third place at 3-6, and the Texans are in last at 1-6-1, so they're not going to be any threat. So right now, looks like it's between the Titans and the Jags. And, Titans, they're a good team, man. And I don't even know if they're a good team. They're just really, really well coached. I mean, last night they put the Chiefs in overtime, although they wound up losing at the end of the day. The Chiefs went into overtime, and literally Malik Willis never completed a single pass to a wide receiver. Like, I don't know how that works, but they're just really well coached. So they're going to continue to be a hard team. But look, the Jaguars, they play the Titans twice this year. They've yet to play them. So, if you can take over those games, I mean, Jags are 2.5 points back, so you do the math right now. So I don't want to talk about it too early, but I think it's good to talk about where it's like, the Jaguars can start figuring it out. Look, we're a young team. We didn't know how to win close games. Maybe this could be a turning point. I don't know. Really tough matchup next week in Arrowhead against the Chiefs. So, the whole season's ahead of us. Let's see if maybe this could be a turning point. I mean, the Jags have a lot of work to do. They're 3-6. There's not a lot of room for error. But I know I'll be sitting here watching every game. I'll be coming out with videos, so I'm not going to just throw in a towel just yet. Okay, I'm gonna take it game by game, and But at the end of the day, if we don't make the playoffs, what I want to see, continued greatness from Trevor Lawrence. I want to see more games like this, so we can really go into next year. And the percentage of the fan base that is very skeptical, that can go down. I know myself. Trevor Lawrence can put out a lot of bad games. I know he's going to get a year 3, so I'm going to keep counting on that. But I think I've been pretty fair on him. I expected better from him over the course of the year. But, some of the good games that he's put together, look, he's a young quarterback. We're going to go through learning curves with him. And at the end of the day, we won this game because of Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence's good play helped us to victory, and I think that needs to be stated. But with that said, do it again, Trevor. Do it again. Do it multiple times. Mitigate the bad games, and we'll go forward with that. So, yeah, Jaguars win, beat the Raiders 27-20. We're now 2-1 against the AFC West with the last game coming next week against the Chiefs. Lots of encouraging stuff this game. So let's just hope the Jaguars can keep it going. With that said, thanks for watching. Drop a like for Victory Monday. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. And go Jags.
Okay, Jacksonville Jaguars. Too much for your crew to handle. Keep it lit. And this is the #1 YouTube channel by UCF Jaguar. Yeah, we about to blast off. If you've been a fan, then this is the dopest platform. Yeah, never hold back. Gotta represent for the teal and black.